Chair now recognizes Mr. Burlison for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Goldstein, am I correct in saying you have over 3 decades of experience in helping local communities navigate the process of these cleanups of brownfields?
Yes, sir, and I feel every single one of those days.
Given that experience, could you walk me through the process that a local, county or community goes through when they're applying for assistance for a brownfield?
Sure. The process typically starts with a developer or a not-for-profit who, either working on their own or with a local government, identifies a site that would make a wonderful redevelopment project for whatever their mandate is, for whatever their constituents are telling them needs to be done. They'll conduct some due diligence. That typically doesn't take a lot of money to have a consultant perform what's called a Phase 1 environmental site assessment audit, which is a non-invasive study of the history of the site and the regulatory status. And more often than not, whether you're in a rural area or an urban area, you'll identify a legacy of chemical contamination, and all of the warning bells will go off, and the costs will be identified related to cleanup, related to third-party liability, related to the incremental things that you have to do to safely build on a contaminated site. And then people will take a beat and say, well, how are we going to pay for all of this? And at that point, many projects simply expire because the risk is too high and the costs are too uncertain. But in other instances where they are aware of the Brownfields program, they work with a local government or a not-for-profit. For-profit entities are not eligible for brownfield grants, and they get in the queue to receive EPA funding. Sometimes it's for assessment, sometimes it's for assessment and cleanup, sometimes it's for cleanup only. In many instances, those grants provide important seed money, but not enough to complete the job, because more often than not, these problems, as mentioned by a number of your colleagues, are very complex. They're not problems that can be solved with $100 or $200 or $300 or $400,000 in grant funding. Sometimes they take millions of dollars in grant funding, and sometimes grant funding, all of the money in the world wouldn't solve the problem. There need to be more liability protection tools, more regulatory tools to expedite cleanup, et cetera. But from identification of an issue through award of grant and the money becoming available, that window can take 9 to 12 to 18 months, and many projects don't have that time available to them.
Regarding the nonprofits, how does that relationship work? Are there just nonprofits that exist that this is their mission, they accept these grants, they work the process, and then they kind of align with a business?
Well, there are a variety of not-for-profits. Some are involved in the arts, some are involved in affordable or workforce housing, some are involved in providing urban farming opportunities. It really spans the gamut of what not-for-profits are interested in, and we've seen it all in a brownfields context going back to 1995. Many times they can't go it alone. They don't have enough money, so they partner with local governments and seek these grants.
Thank you. Mr. Wilbur, this Congress is committed to, this committee plans to consider reauthorization of the Brownfields program. In the reauthorization, we will have the opportunity to consider whether the funds are given to the Brownfields program have achieved their intended purposes of the program. In your opinion, have the funds put towards this program achieved the intended purposes and the goals of the program?
I believe that they have, taking what I've seen in my county alone, with the investment that was made, we definitely have identified and assessed the brownfields that we know are there.
And given the funds that we're spending money, we're stewards of taxpayer dollars, are there examples or are there any opportunities where we can make sure that those dollars are used to their fullest extent? Is there any opportunities that we can make it better?
Well,
make it more efficient with the dollars we have?
While I would say that the administrative aspect of it, the burdensome of reporting and all of that has definitely been an added chore for most rural counties that have a small staff. Like the chair noted before, I mean, we have one county attorney to work on this, and we have one chief accountant in the whole county. So the work is a lot, and the staff is limited. So that administrative duties are definitely a little burdensome for us.
Appreciate it. Thank you. I yield back.